Hi everyone, it's Paolo. Okay, so we are kicking off the new year with a very special episode because I am going to be talking with one of the co-hosts from the Today Show, the one and only Hoda Kotb. You guys, she has her third season of her hit podcast out called Making Space, and let me tell you, each episode is like a masterclass. So I'll see you guys with Hoda in person, and I can't wait.
Spoonful of Paolo, here we go.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hi, Hoda.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Oh, I can't believe this is happening.
You're like a delight. You are a walking, talking delight. I'm so into you.
Okay, well, I'm into you more probably. But okay, I really want to say thank you for allowing this to happen. We've been doing this for almost 12 years, and you have been a dream guest of mine since the beginning. I have been following your career. And I'm just in awe, and I don't even know if the word is honor to be sitting here with you, but there's something bigger than that, and I want to say thank you so much, because this means so much to me, okay?
Okay, that means the world. And the people who I love talking to the most, it's so funny because I feel like in the last couple of weeks I've interviewed people who have like put their head down and pushed through. Rosie Perez, Shania Twain, Steve Harvey, I've had these people in the last 2 weeks.
Your podcast.
For my podcast,
Yes,
they all have
Making
something
Space.
in common, and it's like they don't quit.
Mm.
And your story is that, like, you are that person. You're the person who decided in your mind, like, I don't care how long it takes. And look at you sitting here, right here.
Well, you've inspired me. And, talking about your podcast, which I've been listening to every single episode. I know you're currently on season 3. I listened to Steve Harvey just the other day, came out on Monday from, your first one was Winona Judd. I have to tell you, for me, it's like listening to a masterclass. And I know for you, you have your notepad, you're taking notes. I know there's so many life lessons. Is there a life lesson that has really stuck with you today that you're like, yeah, like what he or she said, I think about it.
I think when I sit down, like we're doing here today, when I sit down and talk to somebody, I feel like I want to strip away all the things that are phony. And life can be like, I feel like, in this world, people are the only thing on the planet that try to be something they're not.
Yeah.
A dog's going to be a dog, cat's going to be a cat, a bird's going to fly, a tree's going to grow. People are like, you know what? If I'm more like that person, maybe I'll fit. So I'm going to twist myself and make myself into that. Like, we were created this way to be us. You're 100% yourself as you sit here. I feel like I am. And the people I love interviewing and I enjoy the most and I learn from the most are people who are just that. They look at you and they're going to push through something really hard, but they're going to say it.
Yeah.
One person said a quote to me that I never forgot, that it was, your actions are speaking so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. It's like when you know the truth. And sometimes when you sit across from someone and they say something to you, you'll say to yourself, I don't want to leave this moment. You almost don't want to move.
Yeah, you don't.
You're in a moment, you're like, can we just keep this right here where it is? And I feel like those bursts of honesty come, and they don't come from a notepad full of questions. And they don't come from, let me watch what I saw you do on TikTok the other day and let me talk about it. They come because it's time to strip down and be real.
Yeah.
It's enough already.
Yes.
It's time to be who we are. Like,
Yeah.
let's stop pretending. Let's stop making believe.
Yep.
Let's sit here and say, here, this is me.
It's
Take me or leave me.
It's kind of like, I think when you interviewed your second episode, Mel Robbins, I think when she said that we all have like a purpose in life, and that purpose is to be our authentic self.
Yes.
I remember her saying that to you. And I was like, oh,
yes.
It hit me because it's true. I do feel that you can never get to where you want to be if you're not being your authentic self. And I feel like with me coming out, being who I am, has really shaped me, my husband, our show, to help other people out there, like, to be who you are.
I think the hardest thing in the world, and I feel like I was this for a long time too, is you don't even know you are, but you're a pretender.
Yeah.
You're pretending.
Yeah.
And we all have to navigate life. We have to navigate the workplace. We have to navigate, we can't just, I am woman, hear me roar, and then this is life. I get that. But if you spend your life pretending, each day you lose a little more. You chip away a little bit more. You're a little bit smaller. You're a little bit less than. It's like, and pretty soon you don't even recognize yourself. You're like, how did this happen? I used to be that. When did this part of me happen? I want to fit in that box, so I'm going to do everything I can to fit. And the people who I admire the most are people who can just let it go and be who they are, because what else? I mean, what else is there?
Exactly.
You're here because of that.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if you tried to fit yourself in a box?
I wouldn't be here with you talking with you, which I'm having a pinch me moment right now. I have to say first, congratulations to 5-year anniversary for you and Savannah co-hosting the Today Show. And there's a quote that you said, and I love this. You said, "If there's a dream job, I know I found it. I never worked in a place that felt like family before, ever. This is it. This is that spot." So tell me what makes this spot your dream job then?
When I walk in the door, my heart can rest.
Oh. Walk in the door, your heart can
It's like someone has a warm hand on your heart. Like, that's what it feels like. And I know that it's work, because there's no mistaking. We have work and we have family. Those are two different things. This place has had my back for so many years. And I think with any place, if you want the best for someone else, you end up, it comes back to you. You don't even know it. Like, when I came in here, I didn't know how to do an interview. I didn't know what I was doing. I would ask other Dateline correspondents. I was at Dateline. Can you help me? And a couple were very helpful. A couple were sort of like, I'm not here to teach you, but that was kind of the vibe. I understood that. But I realized that if you ask, someone will help, and then you'll get better. I used to be the person in local news who everyone would bring me their script to check it. When I came to NBC, they were like, "Your script is terrible." I was like, but like, I thought I was the teacher. Now I'm the student, and I'm like, not even the good student. I'm like the D student. So you have to always be open to learning. And this place, I've been through, so many different things at this network, a divorce, breast cancer, the celebration of the adoption of my children, life.
Clean hope.
Yeah. All of it has been here. And to walk into a place that will lift you up when you are on a total high, and will cradle you when you're at a low moment, is it. When I had breast cancer, I still remember this. I was sitting in the bed in the hospital, and in walked Roker. And I looked at him, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "What do you need anything?" I looked, I said, I can't believe this is the guy who walked in like moments after I'd come out of surgery. He goes, "I'm just here in case." And I thought to myself, this is real. Your actions are speaking so loudly. I can't hear what you're saying.
You can feel it. Well, you made this all happen, because I remember that story that when you graduated from Virginia Tech College, you had asked your mom, "Hey mom, can I borrow your car?" You had that green suit, you had your hair blown out, as you say, and for 10 days, you drove from like Stratford, I think Virginia, to like Tennessee, to Alabama. You got lost in Mississippi, and you had 27 news directors rejected you. But as you always say, you need that one person. And I know when you got lost in Mississippi, that one person was Stan Sandroni, who gave you that job, okay? And he called you, I think called you Hilda. I ain't calling her Hilda. I call you Hoda, okay? But I remember, so what kept you going? Because if that was someone else, they would have stopped at the first rejection, the second one, the third, fourth. But you had 27 rejection, and it took that one last one. So what kept you going?
I think deep down, I'm like a competitor. I think I've always been, like, I played high school basketball. And I would wake up at the crack of dawn to shoot hoops. I would dream about it, and I would stay late. If we lost, I would sob. And if we won, I would celebrate. But I always worked it. I wasn't the best, but I was going to work. I was going to outwork anybody. I knew I was going to outwork anybody. So to me, the first rejection was like when we played Mount Vernon and lost. I'm like, okay, we lost, but it's not over. This is a long season. Like, what's the next place? So I think I'm like that kind of person who, I'm stubborn, super stubborn, which can be bad. If you have a stubborn kid, hang on to that kid, because it might serve her later or serve him later. But I think I was both stubborn and also a believer in that somewhere I was going to get this job, because I'll be honest, I was looking for a TV job, but I didn't really know if I even wanted to be in it. I did it in college a little bit, and I was like, well, let's try that. And so after I was rejected, I was like, I actually think I want this now. It's like the boy who turns you away.
Rejection, you're like, for you to fight and want it more than.
Right, because at first you're like, I didn't really like him. You don't like me? Well, why don't you like me? And now you're mad. So then you just keep going. So I just think I didn't stop. And I figured that somewhere, somehow, somebody, because it's our business is subjective. This person may love you, this person may hate you, this person may say you're the best thing, and this person may say you'll never make it in this business. They'll say it in the same breath. So I think you just have to have a little bit of an inner belief, and then and then go for it.
I'm so glad you didn't give up. You know,
Me too.
if younger Hoda came to you and said, "Hey, look, when you get into your 50s, you're going to be hosting the Today Show. You're going to be a mother of two," what would you have told her?
I would have thought she was friggin' crazy. I would have been like, wait, because when you're a kid, 50 sounds ancient. 50's like, 50? You're 50? Like, I would have died. What I
So
did,
good that she didn't say anything to you
thank
then.
God she didn't know. But I have to tell you, to be living in this space right now, to be living in this family that I get to go home to every day, and to know that there's something on this planet that's mine for me, to know that I get to walk in the morning to a job that was even too big for me to dream about, because
Yeah.
I did not imagine that possibility. It just
Yeah.
wasn't in my brain. So I think that what it taught me is your blessings come when they come.
Mm.
Some people get all theirs in their 20s, and
Wow.
that's when it all comes. Some people get them later.
Yeah.
Becky
Yeah.
Smith always said it gets greater
Yeah.
later, and she's right, because you realize later on in life, you're like, wow, all these blessings are here for me. Like I can't believe it
But you're
sometimes.
inspiring so many people to say you can have your first at any age, in your
Yeah,
40s, your 50s, your
it
60s.
doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And that's what I love about you. But I also have to say, I do love your parents. I know your parents, when they got married, they came from Egypt to America. And there's a story. I remember when you got Dateline, I think it was in 1998 of April, you had called your mom, who was working at the Library of Congress, and you said, "Mom, guess what? I got a job on Dateline. I'm a correspondent." And then your mother, who was working at the library, she screamed to her coworkers, "He's like, my daughter got a job." How proud is your mom of you? Because when
Oh.
I look at your journey,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a timeline of what you've been doing, New Orleans for all those years, and coming in New York since 1980, 1998, actually, 1998. What does she think of your life, your mom?
I think the funny thing is about my mom, I think she always believed. I don't think anything surprised her, which is shocking to me,
Yeah.
because everything surprises me. But for me to make a basketball team, she was like, "Of course you did." For me to get a job, "Of course they hired you." "Oh, they didn't hire you." "Oh, that's weird." And then she would go on with it. And I went through times where I thought I was going to get promoted and the other girl got it, or with the things that happen in life.
Yeah.
But it's just like when you have one person who believes. I mean, my mom, when I got the job at Dateline, it was a real risk, because I was choosing between Security, which was a local station that I could have been with for many, 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 many years to come,
Yeah.
or a small fish in this big pond, where they had a 6-month clause that if I didn't work out in 6 months, they could fire me, and I knew I
Yeah.
could never go back to the other place. So you were weighing all these things, but she was like, "Take risk, of course go, of course go." She never was the person who said lean on Security. So when all of the rest of life started happening for me, my mom was always like, she's two pom-poms and will
Wow.
be till whenever. Even now, she goes, "Oh, amazing morning boost." I'm
Wow.
like, how many morning boosts I've done? I was crying. Oh my God. And your suit was so amazing. I was like, "Thanks, Mom."
I've seen your mom on
Yeah,
Instagram. I
yeah,
love your
yeah,
mom.
yeah.
I know next month on February 9th, I think it's going to be about 37 years since your beloved father passed away. I remember reading your book. You said in the beginning, you said that the first 2 years were a fog for you. And when I interviewed Gloria Estefan last summer, she told me, because her mom had passed away 5 years ago, she said the first 2 years for her, she couldn't sing.
Hmm,
I lost my mom. It was a year
hmm.
this past weekend.
Oh.
So I wanted to ask you, for those who are grieving,
Mhm,
what advice would you
mhm.
what advice would you give to them who are just grieving? And I know you went through it the first 2 years. What would you say?
First of all, how are you right now?
I'm okay. I'm okay because I feel that my mother made this happen.
Hmm,
She knows how much I loved you. I
mhm.
love you. And it's a blessing for me, but I'm doing okay. I think with the right tools, the right help, therapy. I have an amazing husband who's been so patient through it all.
Yeah.
My mom was my everything. I wear this pin all the time.
I
It's
was
from,
gonna ask
yeah,
about
it's the
that.
mother and son dance that we did at
Ah,
our, at the reception.
mm,
She changed my life. She was my everything. She was, 65, had glioblastoma, and it all just took her so quickly.
hmm.
But I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking.
I mean, the fact that you're sitting here 1 year out when everything's raw and exposed,
Yeah.
and every song or thought goes her way. And I remember that. I remember that with my dad. And I remembered I was doing an interview, and I was at the 92nd Street Y, And we raised the lights and we said, how many people here have lost a parent?
Mm.
And probably 3/4 of the hands went up. And how many people worry about that?
Mm.
And the rest raised their hand. And it reminded me in that moment that we're all not by ourselves. Like other
That's
people
incredible.
have experienced and felt what this loss feels like. And I always think like to feel that, how hard you had to love. And I know that, you have to love something so much to feel this pain. They always
Yeah.
say, like when you're crying, like that's that's kind of pain with no place to go. So you got to just cry it out and release it.
Yeah.
But I think, look, your mom did so good.
Mm.
I mean, you're living, breathing proof of what she's
Thank
capable
you.
of. I didn't know her, and I think that's a beautiful pin.
Thank you.
But to think that her young son who was working in that shop is sitting here interviewing people like Oprah and Gloria Estefan, and this is so crazy.
Well,
I'm like so excited for
thank
what
you.
you've done.
Thank you.
But
Well, you've
but
inspired me. You know, I
uh,
know that when you were diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007, you had this epiphany, like after
mhm,
you were getting better, these four words came to you, and I think they were, "You can't scare me."
mhm,
Um, and I remember that, because you're somebody who worked hard, but you wanted people to recognize you. But you took charge that one day,
mm,
and you heard about the fourth hour of the Today Show, and
mhm,
you went in that elevator, and you went to the 52nd floor.
mhm.
How did that moment feel like for you to take charge of your life and not wait for someone to tell you or call you?
I think it was probably the first time that I found my voice.
Mm,
I think that day,
really?
because to be able to have that kind of, to be free
Mm,
and to not feel restricted or constricted. And I'd always been a kind of a pleaser. I don't want to bother you,
mm,
but that's
yeah.
what I would say. Are you okay? I know it's not a good time to ask for a raise. Sorry. That's how I would start because
Mm,
I wanted the other person to feel good,
mm,
whether it's someone I was dating or someone I was working for. I would
yeah.
always do that. And I realized in that moment, like, you have to have your voice. And I think the fear grabbed me by the shirt collar and
Yeah.
shook me. I was like, oh my God, this is so, like, this is it. This could be it.
Yeah.
Like, what if someone told you, you have a week? What do you want to do? That's what it felt like to me. It was this big epiphany. And so going up the elevator to the 52nd floor, I was calm. And
Wow.
I thought I'd
I
be
can just
like,
picture
I
this.
thought I'd be swallowing. I'm one of those people who I can't get any spit in my mouth when I'm nervous. I had to fill in on Weekend Nightly, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, I can't make it through. I can't make it through. They
You
got to come get me.
did.
But I did it.
You
But
took
anyway, but that
ownership.
was, you take ownership. You
Uh,
just say, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime. And Jeff Zucker looked at me like I was nuts. He was like, who
wow.
are you? Who
And
are
look
you?
at
The
you.
girl on Dateline?
R- r-
But it
uh,
took that. Like it took that saying, you know what? That's it.
Wow.
I'm coming in and I'm doing it.
Wow. Okay, so my last question now is
Uh,
this. You had this book, your first book that was released, I think in 2010, okay? So you released it, How I Survived War Zones, Bad Hair, Cancer, and Kathy Lee.
Yeah,
In the 13 years
yeah.
since then, what else would you add to this list of things that you survived? I don't know, like the Trump years, the pandemic. You tell me, what would you add to this list, you would say?
I have survived war zones, bad hair, cancer, Kathy Lee, and I don't know if I've survived it, but it's like I feel like I shed an old skin. Like from
Mm,
there, like that girl on that book cover saw some things, but not the worst or the best
wow.
of my life yet. So I feel like I learned how to love again. I learned that that dreams come true.
They
I
should.
learned that, the best parts of your life are ahead of you. I learned that your heart expands and keeps expanding as for whatever goodness comes toward you.
Mm,
It's not like there's never too much. There's a child, there's room, your heart expands. If you want to adopt a puppy, your
your
heart
heart expands.
expands. You want a new friend, your heart expands. All of those things are part of like this next chapter in life. What else have I survived? I mean, I don't even see life like that anymore. It's so weird. Like I
Wow.
just see like climbing things, mountains. I don't see like, boy, I made it through that. And look, I worry about, my mom's age. And I,
Yes.
just like when you said that, I thought about my own
Mm,
mom too. And I think a lot of us do. And there are
yeah.
lots of things that are going to come ahead, but I'm just more prepared in life, I think, than I ever have been. But I think life's a beautiful, exciting adventure.
Life is a beautiful, exciting adventure. And speaking of that, we got something for you that we wanted to give you.
Oh,
It's a little thing.
what?
That is for you. You can go ahead and open it. Yeah, something special. Because I know how much your daughters mean to you, Haley and Hope, who are so precious and so beautiful. So this just ties it all in. So there's 2 hearts and they're engraved. Big one, Haley, and the small one is for Hope.
I cannot believe you did that. That is so beautiful. Oh my God. Oh, I cannot believe you did that.
Now don't be having
That
a
is
third kid when I go
precious.
home announce on the Today Show tomorrow. I'm like, wait, Patrick, we only gave her 2 hearts. If you have a third one, you got to tell me because I got to give you the third one. I'm going to send it to your assistant then, okay? Yeah.
That is so beautiful and precious. Thank you so much.
Well, I know those girls mean the world to you. They are one of your greatest achievements, as I know you've said in many interviews. So to end this, just to say thank you because you are such an inspiration, not just to me, but to so many people who are watching around the world. You're just, and I was telling Sarah, I was just saying, you're one of the nicest people in this business. And I waited a long time to interview you, but it paid off at the end because, I mean, look at this, you know? So thank you for being an inspiration. I'm so proud of you. I love your podcast. I know Rosie Perez is coming up next, I think. I know that I know.
You're going to cry.
I was in this building. I hear people saying, wait to hear Rosie Perez with Hoda. So I want to say this, thank you.
You're amazing. You're an amazing human being. I didn't even, thank you.
No,
thank you.
Thank you so much. We love you so much.
I love you back.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Okay, you guys. Thank you. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, move to the next video. But a special thanks to Hoda. We love you and dream big, everyone. Dream big. Thank you.
First of all, I'm so shocked at I'm just shocked at how amazing you are. You're amazing. No, you're like, I've been interviewed by everybody. That's amazing.
You know,
this is crying. Mary's crying.
Oh my God.
Everybody's crying.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you. We'll get a picture because I know you're going to use it for the YouTube.
Yeah, that was one of them.
You got it. Okay.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
Thank
oh my
you for
God.
this.
That was
really.
like the best.
Thank you.
That was the best.